Congressman Jim Costa has held his seat since 2005. The longtime politician will be seeking a 9th straight term in 2020. But there's one man who says he can knock Costa off even without having a political bone in his body. That man is Costa's first Republican challenger for Congress in District 16. And here he is, retired Clovis educator Kevin Cookingham. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me.
What in the world made you want to jump into this race?
Well, I've been very frustrated with a number of things in the 16th District, as well as statewide, as well as nationally. And so my wife and I had talked about it, and we were going to help somebody else in the race, and I thought, you know what, I think it's time for us to get involved.
And no one talked any sense into you, and you must be crazy.
I had friends beg me not to do this.
Yeah. Well, you know, because you're trying to launch a campaign where you've never launched a political campaign before. You're a longtime educator. How do you mount this kind of campaign against a politician that has made it his career?
Yeah. Actually, my opponent has been around doing this since 1978, so over 40 years. And so it's going to be a grassroots effort. One thing I am good at, there's some things I'm not good at, but one thing I'm good at is strategy. And so it's going to take a lot of networking, a lot of strategy. I'm meeting with all kinds of people that have been doing this for years. So it saves me some time as far as making mistakes I don't need to make. And I've been a Valley person all my life. I know what the issues are. And I think that with the right networking, with the right people, this can happen.
And how do you stand with things about foreign relations and immigration? Mm-hmm. Are you status quo with the Conservative Party?
Well, I would just say there are three areas that I look at from this viewpoint. There's the 16th District, which is, I'm to represent the 16th District. Then there's the state, because the state affects the 16th District, even though I don't vote in the State Assembly or the State Senate. And then there are national issues. So am I status quo on things? Well, obviously, we have to have some control on our borders. And so that would certainly be a Republican issue. And it's interesting, when I talk to people that are from Mexico and from around the world, it's amazing how much we agree with in regards to immigration. And one of my questions that I ask people sometimes is I say, you know what, if I talked to one person, I said, you've got 2 young children. I said, if I went up and picked up 10 people at random, would you let them babysit your children? Well, no. So there have to be some controls on people about who come in, vetting people. Most people are great people. In fact, I used to have the people in our ESL classes to my house all the time. I have 30, 35 there for barbecues. So obviously, I love people, but there have to be some vetting and in regards to immigration.
You know, Elizabeth Heng tried to launch an upset against Congressman Jim Costa. It didn't work out for her. And she was from a different generation almost, and a different cultural background, and she did her best to unseat him. What's different about you than what Elizabeth Heng couldn't do? Yeah,
first of all, I have a long record of wins. It started all the way through school and in my different assignments in education. We saw our Clovis Online School grow from 12 students to over 550 students. We saw our test scores increase. And so I have a history of wins. And I look, for instance, at Clovis Adult School. One of the things that we did was position people for success. And so they'd come into our CTE programs, our career tech education programs, and we would work with them at making sure that they got jobs. And we had many of those people come back to us and say, for the first time in my family's life, we just bought a house. And the unemployment rate right now in the 16th District is 16.9%, whereas nationally it's 3.8%. We've got to get that under control.
You talked about strategy. Now comes the fundraising part. You've already talked your campaign will be grassroots here, but you're talking about millions and millions of dollars that you're going to have to mount. What type of strategy do you have there?
Well, again, we're doing a lot of networking right now. I've already had a lot of people talk to me and say they want to give me money for this campaign. But I will tell you this, no matter how much I raise, Jim Costa will raise more. That's just the way it is. He's got about a 17% advantage over Democrats, so I'm going to have to appeal to Democrats that haven't gone extreme left. And there are a lot of, believe it or not, conservative Democrats that know that the far left side in Washington, D.C. has gone way too far left.
Costa has always been known as a guy that reaches across the aisle, though. How do you compete with a guy that really has the support of not only Capitol Hill, but really the constituents here in the district?
Well, I'll give you just one example, whether you consider this reaching across the aisle or not. The bullet train. He's for the bullet train. Well, we've wasted millions of dollars on this bullet train, billions of dollars on this bullet train, and because it's a government program. Started at $33 billion. Now there's estimates all the way up to 107, so they've cut it down. There's a lot of issues where I would say government is not the answer.
Congressman Devin Nunes, obviously he could help you here in his efforts to maybe unseat Costa. Have you reached out to him?
I have, and I have not heard from him yet, but I will definitely keep trying with him.
How important is it to have him on your side?
I think it's really important. I think people need to stick together. It's amazing how many agencies I've called to talk to that I agree with their philosophy and who they are. You don't receive a call back. And so I think the more we pull together and the more we work with each other, we're going to see a lot greater strength come out of this conservative movement.
All right, Kevin Cookingham, you sure you want to do this?
No, but I'm doing it because I want to see some good things happen.
All right, appreciate your time.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, still to